So I start off here with an EMERBU SLR. So this is a V2 gearbox. It's been upgraded, metal gears, high-speed motor, upgraded spring, metal inner barrel. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to take this because I like the beaver tail grip, the kind of pistol style grip, and I thought I'd turn it into kind of a MK8 / M4 style because I had some of those parts and pieces around, and I really like taking the parts and pieces that I have on hand and then modifying those to make some cool new designs you guys haven't seen. So what I did is I had the MK8 Handguard, right? And then I had multiple versions of these M4 outer barrels, right, that have the sight on them. So I wanted to go ahead and figure out a way to put that together so that it can go on the SLR because this handguard fits the SLR. And this is what I came up with, right? So first off, I upgraded the spring. So I took this apart, I put in an M100 spring. Pretty happy with the preliminary testing with that. So that is what I did there. And then I changed that metal inner barrel to a much longer one. Now, that is the standard size one that's in like the MK8 or the M4A1. And it is almost long enough to get to the tip. It probably gets to right about here. Not really an issue as long as it's straight and everything. There should be no problems with having a little bit of an outer barrel after the inner barrel stops. I didn't have any that were long enough on hand, and I don't like to cut longer ones down because then unless you cut it perfect, you can end up with shredding of gels and that kind of thing. The other thing I wanted to do is continue to use the stock outer from the SLR because that fits onto this receiver perfect, whereas this barrel outer does not, and it wouldn't have been quite long enough anyway. So what I did is basically I made a coupler on this end, and then this outer actually goes to right about here, and then that'll fit right inside, flush up against the SLR outer barrel. Use some stabilizers here and a stabilizer front piece. So this is on here solid like this, right? And then, I mean, if you can see in there, it's kind of hard to see, but that's where that'll just slide right into. Also for increased stability, like even these rails actually go through the handguard and into a piece of that stabilizer where there's heat inserts to even hold everything in there nice and firm so it's not going anywhere. Since the mag on this already had that hexagon design, I decided to continue with that. There's a lot of hexagon options out there. In fact, it's probably the most popular design for different airsoft and gel blasters. So I went with the hexagon design. You can see we've got the hex M-lock covers. On the bottom here, I went with a hex grip and then actually just incorporated it with an M-lock cover. We got the rails all around the front, and then we've even got a hex kind of amplifier on the front there to keep that going. Okay. Up here, little canted riser off to the side so that you can use the sight, the M4 style sights, and then this one even has a little hexagon pattern on the top. Put a sling on there, and then here is the stock. So made kind of a crazy cheek riser to add to the top of the stock. I haven't put it back together completely yet, but so that's there. And then I also even put a little piece here that is connected through the rubber to the base or the back of the stock so that that is on there nice. Okay, so that's going to slide on there. So it's really kind of a SLR / MK8 M4 hexagon design is what I'm calling it. And like I said, we do have a nice big upgraded spring in there, and the preliminary tests were pretty good. I think you guys will be impressed. So check back for the final build video. I'm going to get this all put together. It was freshly painted, so I'm probably going to wait a day before I really put my hands all over it. Make sure it cures really good. But this Rust-Oleum textured black paint that I use, it's an oil-based paint or an enamel. It still dries a lot faster than the normal Rust-Oleum enamel paints. So That's nice. And it's got a little bit of texture to it, which I really like. It works great for painting 3D printed parts because if there are any lines or flaws, that little bit of texture is enough to really help cover that up and make it look nice. So that's a big reason why I love this black texture paint that I go with. So comments, questions, post them below. Like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways, typically towards the end of the month. On my YouTube channel, went up to $200 or usually over $200 worth of blasters and accessories every month in those YouTube contests. Thanks.